Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is already May 1st, so we know what time it is. It is time for our April wrap-up. It was a little bit of a better month for me. I had 8 books read because I had a couple audiobooks this month. I need to get in more audiobooks so I can get through books. Not that I need some record to go through like so many in a year. I need to get more audiobooks just when I'm like going throughout my day. That gets me to read more books. Anyway, I will go in order of what I read from the beginning to the end of April. So we have got How to Plot a Payback by Melissa Ferguson. I gave this one 2.5 stars. It was an arc, so I felt like really bad for not loving it. I actually wrote all the names down to all the books that I read because I have a terrible memory when it comes to names. I kind of talked about this in my anticipated releases video, and so I kind of already talked about the plot, but basically it's this girl, her name is Lavender, and then Finn. He's a writer, and he gets hired for this show to spice things up for the show because it's like losing ratings and viewers. And so the show, though, she is the main actress for the show. They have some beef from the past. They like grew up in England together. They're both British, and she doesn't remember any bad things that she did to him. Like, it's kind of like one of those things that she didn't even realize that she had done those things. And she doesn't even recognize him when he first comes to work. And so he just like has all of these terrible thoughts about her, and he doesn't like her. And she's like got her head in the clouds. She's so happy and positive all the time. And she's kind of unrealistic. So I didn't love her character. She's kind of not like ditzy or anything. She just like was in her own little world, and she bothered me. And so did Finn. Like, he was just so vindictive and like just wanted revenge, even though Lavender didn't really know what she was doing to him, and she didn't realize that she had ruined his life or whatever you would say. But anyway, he plots these paybacks to get back at her and like totally writes stuff that's like completely out of her character for her character in the show. And it kind of backfires a little bit on himself. And that was like the whole plot. Like, he was supposed to plot a payback, and the paybacks, oh, my hair, it is so hot today, but I'm grateful summer is around the corner. I'm wearing a short sleeve, sunshine on my shirt. It's a happy day. It's a very, very good day. Anyway, back to the story. So yeah, he plots these paybacks, and he does like 1 or 2, and that, like, the book is called How to Plot a Payback, and so he plots like twice, and they were like really small things, and he ends up going back on it, like not actually following through with the plot. And so it was just like it felt very, very flat for me. I've read her other book. She has a lot of books, but I've read Meet Me in the Margins. I gave that one 3.5 stars. I liked it, but this one just fell a little flat for me. But you may like it. I just think I read it at a time where I just was not interested in this kind of storyline. So, like, writer and actress, I think the romance would have probably been better if it was like a celebrity romance where the two people cast across each other fall in love. I feel like I would have been more interested in that. Little cliche maybe, but that's my opinion. Then we've got The Backup Princess by Kate O'Keefe. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It was cute. It was like a mix between Princess Diaries and Hallmark. So the Hallmark version of Princess Diaries. So basically this girl, she's from Texas. She already knows that she's from a royal bloodline, where Mia Thermopolis Rinaldi did not know that. So she knows that her family is royal, and her uncle abdicates, so like he doesn't want to become king, so she has to like fly to the island in Europe where her grandparents are, and she has to like become the princess, the next in line, because there's like no living relative to take the throne after her grandparents pass. So she goes, and then there's like a neighboring country with the kingdom, which is this guy's kingdom. His name is Alexander, her name is Maddie, and they have a really a meat mess, which is kind of funny. So they have like really negative preconceived notions about each other, but then they get to know each other. It's forced proximity. The dad like tasks him to get to know Maddie, And so they are together all the time throughout the book, which I really, really enjoy. Like when I'm reading a book, I need a lot of on-page time together. I don't like when the author like summarizes like what they did together. I need like those actual events happening and them having conversations. And so this book was pretty good with that. So I thought it was really cute. But like I said, it's like a Hallmark Princess Diaries. So I enjoyed it. So far, both the books that I've mentioned previously, neither of them have language, and neither of them have any kind of sexual content. They're not going to have any kind of content that makes people uncomfortable. Then we've got Lucy Loves Him Not by Rebecca Jo Jackson. This one, it was just like the funnest, sweetest little story. It's about this girl, her name is Lucy, and then Adam. And I gave it 4 stars, first of all. And there is no language, none at all, and just kissing. And very clean, very, very clean. So it's about this girl who, she's tasked herself to like come up with the town festival for the last like decade with her grandma, but her grandma passes, so she kind of takes it on herself, and she volunteers, so she spends her entire summer making this festival, and it's like not even her job, but like the town, not the, what is it called? The person in charge of town events. He was kind of lazy and just let her do it because he didn't want it on his responsibility. But a new guy gets hired, and it's Adam. And so he tells her, this is my job. You're kind of relieved of doing this festival, so I'm going to take the reins. And she's really upset about it because it's like what her and her grandma did together, and she wanted to take on the legacy. So she's very upset, and she's like, well, we'll compromise. He said, we'll compromise. And so he hires her on, and all the decisions are 50-50. And so they have a lot of fun together. They go to like other festivals and see what they do so they can implement that at their own festival. And they do cute stuff together. So it's like a really, really fun summer read that I enjoyed. It's like a workplace romance, forced proximity. Really, really cute. I enjoyed it a lot. So, and it just came out April 30th. So go get a copy. It was really cute. I would definitely buy a physical copy of it, but like I said multiple times in multiple of my videos, I'm not going to buy books yet until I'm like back home, because I don't want to have to take them all home with me, because whoever has moved ever before and you like pack your books in a box, they're heavy, and so I don't want to have to haul books around with me until I know where I'm going to stay for a while. Then I read Ive Said Love by Cabaniss. I'm not sure. This author reached out to me to read her book. She was so sweet, and so I read it, and I gave it 4 stars. It's really short. It's like 240 pages. It may be even less than that. It did not take me long to read. I read it in one day. But basically, it's about this girl named Valerie and this guy named Ethan. And it's a pretty heavy, emotionally heavy, mentally heavy book. Valerie struggles with depression and grief, and so does Ethan. And so they come together at a time in their lives where they're just like trying to heal. And so they meet at a New Year's party. They share a kiss at this New Year's party. And so she forms a very deep connection with him, and it's only one point of view. It's only her point of view, so you don't really get to see what Ethan is thinking, which I prefer a dual POV. So that was a little disappointing that there wasn't that. No, wait, I don't think I gave this 4 stars. I think I gave it 3.5. I rarely give books 4 or 5 stars, because like my 4 and 5 stars, 5 stars specifically, are like the best books ever in my opinion. And so like I only hold that for a very small few books. So they're going through their grief. They live in completely different states, so they like FaceTime all the time and talk to each other, and they're getting to know each other through the phone, and they are planning a wedding together for her best friend. And so because she takes on the task of wedding planning, like that's kind of like what she wants to do in the long run, but she never thought she could do it because her grief and depression kind of take over, and she doesn't end up doing those kinds of things. And so she volunteers to plan the wedding for her best friend, And she asks for Ethan's help because Ethan lives where the wedding is going to be held. And so they talk a lot and they're getting to know each other. And it was really cute. And chapter 25 was so cute. It's completely clean, no swearing, no sexual content, nothing like that, just kissing. I think it was cute. It was cute. If you don't love reading books about depression or struggles with grief or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend it, obviously, because it's like the main plot of this book. So take with that what you will. Then I read The One with the Kiss Cam by Cindy Steele. I think I gave this one 3 or 3.5. It's about, the beginning is like what hooks you, like that first chapter like hooks you. But it's Duke and Nora, and they meet at the very beginning of the book. They meet each other. They're complete strangers. They meet each other at a jazz game in Utah, which is so funny because like I'm from Utah. And it was just like weird to hear like cities that I grew up traveling through in this book. So that was really fun for me. Anyway, that doesn't matter. She is actually on a date with another man, but he gets very drunk and he's really unkind. And she's actually sitting next to this guy. His name is Duke, obviously. And the kiss cam is on them and she ends up kissing Duke and not her date. And so Duke ends up taking her home from the game. And then they have a great night together. They have fun going out and doing stuff together. And then she like has to move to take care of her grandmother. And so she's like leaving. And so there's a 3-year time jump. And that was completely unexpected. I was not expecting that at all. So just so you know, there is a 3-year time jump, which didn't bother me. Which time jumps usually do, especially when I'm like, well, what the heck happened all that time? So anyway, 3-year time jump. She eventually takes an internship and works for his company that he was trying to get up and running when he first met her 3 years previous. So he's got this job now that he's created with his buddies. And so she gets the internship, and it's a workplace romance. So they get to know each other through that. It was really cute. I mean, it was super basic storyline. There wasn't really much going on. So that's why I gave it 3.5, 3 stars. I don't remember. So anyway, I just don't know if Cindy Steele's writing is my favorite. I've read a lot of her books and they're in the 3 to 3.5 star range. So I've never really loved any of her books, but I'll probably continue to read them. There is mild language. No sexual content, just kissing. I think there might be like 2 or 3 cuss words. Very mild cuss words though, like nothing like explicit cuss words. So there's that. Then we've got Love and a Whim by Suzanne Woods Fisher. This is the 3rd book to the Cape Cod Creamery series. So I have not read the first 2. I need to go back and read them, but I gave this book 3.5, I think. Yeah, I think I gave this one 3.5 stars. I think my overall enjoyment of this book would have been better if I read the first 2. So if you plan on reading this ever, read the first 2, because there are characters in the first 2 books that are basically main characters in this one. Like each book adds characters and it kind of just keeps going on. So it's multiple POVs. So you're following like 4 women. So it is a woman's fiction, which I don't particularly love, which is why it was 3.5 stars. So anyway, the reason why I didn't love it is because the girl that is introduced in this book, her name is Bryn, and she gets married after meeting this man after 24 hours. So it's like marriage on a whim. So she gets married to this guy. She has no idea who he is. She meets him at like a work convention in Las Vegas. They get married and she wakes up with complete regret and she leaves him and doesn't tell him that she's leaving. And so she escapes to Cape Cod where's Cape Cod? Massachusetts. Is that correct? I don't remember. So she escapes and goes to this creamery that's introduced in the first 2 books with the characters that are introduced in the first 2 books. So she goes and stays at the creamery. There's like an apartment upstairs and she stays there and her friend helps her get through it, and her friend's trying to get her a lawyer to annul the marriage and everything. Stuff happens and lots of things go down. There's also a wedding getting planned, and it was just like a very interesting book. There's barely any romance in it, so that was like, I need a romance. So it was a women's fiction though, so my expectations were, I think, a bit too high for this one. I still enjoyed it though. Like, the women were great to read about, but I think, like I said before, my overall enjoyment of this book would have been better if I'd read the first 2 books. But very cute summer read, enjoyable. And this one is also Christian published, so there's no language and no content, sexual content at all, and barely any kisses. We'll just say that. Barely, like, honestly, like, none at all. So there's that. Then I read Say You Mean It by Megan Reinking. Reinking. I do not know how to say her last name. This was an arc that I got as well. This one doesn't come out until May 7th. So still in the next week, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So this one is about a girl, her name is Blair, and then this guy named Graham. And she goes on a retreat with her work. She's a lawyer. She goes on a retreat to this small island in Minnesota. So like in one of the Great Lakes. And Graham is the owner of the lodge that they stay at. And this one's also kind of heavy. She is a depressed person. Like, she has depression. And there's like on-page self-deprecating thoughts about herself, which are kind of hard to read. So you feel super bad for her. And she has some severe struggle with her depression. And that's like the main plot of the book. So again, if you don't like to read about depression, this would not be for you. She meets Graham and she really likes him. She thinks he's so sweet, and he thinks she's beautiful the moment she sees her. It's dual POV, so you get both of their point of views, which is a must. And so after the week is over, she feels like a little bit more like she like loves this island and she feels free on this island. But she ends up going home, and Graham calls her and says, hey, I need a lawyer. Somebody hurt themselves on the property and is suing me. And so she takes a trip back to the island because she's like, I felt good here. And so she goes back and she spends a lot of time with him. They get to know each other. They're falling in love. And throughout the book, you get to see her slowly becoming happier. And that was refreshing to read about, which I enjoyed. There is some cuss words, some mild, infrequent language, and then it is fade to black. So it pushes that closed door envelope a little bit, where there's kissing up to before they start in the bedroom, but it's not explicit or anything. They don't talk about anything explicit, no explicit words or anything like that. So, but it made me like a bit uncomfortable. Like I said, it pushed the envelope just a little bit. So it was a cute book. I gave it 3.25 stars. I've never given a 2.5 star before, but it wasn't like good enough to be 3.5, and it wasn't bad enough to be 3, even though 3 stars is not bad either. But yeah, I overall enjoyed it, but it was heavy. So I was like on this heavy streak. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read a happy romance. So I picked up or listened to Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. And this was cute. This is part of the Sweater Weather series. I've read Absolutely Not in Love, which is also part of this series. And I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave the other one 3 stars. I didn't enjoy that one very much. But those 2 books are actually in the same universe. The main guy from this book and the main guy from Absolutely Not in Love are teammates on the same team. On the same hockey team. So her name is Parker and his name is Logan. And he gets in a fight with a fan on his professional like NHL team. And so he gets like downgraded to the Appies hockey team, which is like a lesser level and not the NHL. I don't remember what it's called. So he gets downgraded basically to clean up his act and make himself look better, like PR stunt kind of dealio. And so Parker is the social media coordinator for the team. And so she like takes videos of them and posts them on like TikTok. And usually I don't like when social media is put in a book where it's like a heavy theme throughout the book. I don't like social media because it's like too much pop culture for me. And sometimes I'm like, I'm older than this and I'm just like, it's kind of immature. But in this, it was well done. But it is Parker's job, so it's like at the forefront of what's going on. But it was just so cute. Like the things that Logan does for her, and it's a second chance romance. They knew each other when they were kids, but they hadn't seen each other in a decade. And there's a slight age gap, but like not. He's like 4 years older than her. So he had left and she was still in high school. She was like 14 and he was 18, and so like there was never anything gonna happen, but she had a huge crush on him when they were kids. They're completely in love with each other from the very beginning of the book. You get both of their point of views, and so it's a workplace romance, and it's fake dating, which we love. We love fake dating. So like it was just so cute. It was so cute. I really, really liked it. I didn't think that I was going to like it because I didn't like Absolutely Not in Love. But this is a different author. So I think I enjoy Emma St. Clair's writing. Have I read anything else by her? I think I've read one book by her, but probably not. I'm probably lying. But it was really cute. The whole fake dating scenario for them, I really enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed it. It was very, very sweet and well written. So there's just kisses in this one and like maybe 2 cuss words. There was like no swearing. She's usually a very, very clean author. So I think there was just like 1 or 2 cuss words, which isn't a big deal. I just brushed over it. I really enjoyed this one. Gave it 4 stars. It was super cute. I'm excited to read the rest of the Sweater Weather series. There are a lot. There are 7 books in the Sweater Weather series. So I am looking forward to getting into the rest of them. That is my reading wrap up for this month. Still a pretty slow month for me. Like 8 books is still not very much. Like I've said in multiple videos, like I've had months where I've read 17, 18 books. So much slower than my usual pace, but that's fine. Sometimes life happens, you're busy. So yeah, I'm just like rustling my books over here, and I have like a microphone, so I'm sure you guys can hear that. Oops. Anyway, I hope you guys like these recommendations. I would recommend most of these. That most of them are 3.5 stars, and if they're three stars or more, I would recommend them. Like they're cute, they're easy, fast paced, most of them are pretty cheesy, but fun. That is all the books I read in the month of April. So hopefully May will be a better month for me. I'm looking forward to reading a lot of books coming up. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.